Oh, we're talking about Revenge of the Fallen now. God help us. Okay, so in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, the 2009 sequel to Michael Bay's Transformers, Sam is on the run, and his newfound friend, Leo, is along for the ride, however unwillingly. Unfortunately, the twins, not those twins, these twins, Skids and Mudflap, are along for the ride as well, injecting their attempts at humor into whatever scene they find themselves in, even in a scene that would be better served without them in it. Anyway, one particular scene following the death of Autobot leader Optimus Prime shows the walls closing in on Sam and Sam having a heated moment with his new friend Leo. Unfortunately, the twins are just injected into the scene, which brings the drama down a few notches.
Hey, you know what? Here, give me this thing. They can track us. Do you see this?
What? They can track us? Like satellite trackers?
Whoa. Okay, I'm not even with you guys. Technically, I'm like a hostage. This is kidnapping. Enough is...
Yo, lay out!
This thing's gonna give me a heart attack, I swear.
That's because you's a wuss.
Do you feel the twins interrupting this scene from the moment
Yo, lay out!
comes out? They don't even address why they wanted Leo's attention in the first place. It's as if the writers asked themselves, what's the most annoying way that we can insert the twins into this scene? And went with it.
Force me into that car, right? So...
Oh, I think he's scared.
Hey, Mudflap, what are we gonna do with this shrimp
You know,
taco?
he just bump a cap in his ass, throw him in the truck, and then nobody gonna know nothing, not me.
Yeah, not in my
Yo,
trunk.
bumper cars? Check it out. I'm hearing you, okay? I'm right here, and I can hear you. No one's popping any caps in any... Okay, I've had a hell of a day.
Essentially, we're getting nothing from the twins' presence in this scene. We see
Yo, lay out!
then some insults that aren't even funny, then Leo showing off his acting chops as if this part of the scene was made specifically to induce a headache. It's all just way too much.
Why don't you get a haircut with your...
Go whine to your boyfriend.
Listen, Sam, I know what I'm gonna do, man. Look, I'm just gonna go to the authorities and tell them the truth. Like, I had nothing to do with this. I'm an accomplice.
Hey, you wanted this, right? You wanted the real deal? That's what this is. Wake up, you're in the middle of it. You want to run, go ahead. No one's stopping you. Stop complaining.
Okay, here Leo says the same thing he said before the twins interrupted him, except he now adds that he wants to go to the authorities, which Sam doesn't even address. Since the twins don't talk about it either, then the dialogue coming from the twins just adds nothing to the scene. It all simply comes off as the twins being in the middle of a heated discussion for no reason at all, which is how the twins become a distraction from what the viewer should be following. However, if we remove the twins, then the scene flows more naturally.
They can track us? Like satellite trackers?
Whoa. Okay, I'm not even with you guys. Technically, I'm like a hostage. This is kidnapping. Like, I had nothing to do with this.
Hey, you wanted this, right?
I know what I'm gonna do, man. Look,
You wanted
I'm
the
just
real
gonna go
deal?
to the
That's what
authorities
this is. Wake up, you're in the middle of it. You want to run, go ahead. No one's stopping you. Stop complaining.
Do you feel how well the scene flows now without the twins getting in the way? Rather than cutting to the twins and their bad dialogue, we stay focused on Sam and Leo's argument. And with Leo not distracted by the twins, we now don't draw away from Sam's interaction with Leo before having to come back to it awkwardly. And speaking of awkward, how's that for a segue? We just have to talk about this.
Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. Land of dreams in there. All I ever wanted to be was an astronaut. Hold those.
What is that?
What? I wear them when I'm in a funk. So does Giambi, Jeter. It's a baseball thing.
Here are the writers trying to be funny again, but once again, the humor is injected into the scene rather than allowed to play into the scene naturally. Simmons says he's wearing a thong because he's in a funk, but he's really not in a funk. Sector 7 was shut down, Simmons' security clearance revoked, but Simmons hasn't been in a funk unless he's applied for multiple secret agent jobs and has been turned down every single time. So the joke just doesn't land, because it doesn't make sense.
Okay, watch your synchronized, sharp mind, and empty bladder. You get caught, demand an attorney, and don't ever say my name. Yeah, take one of these pills, slip it under your tongue. It's the high-concentrate polymer they put in Oreo cookies. Fix the polygraph every time.
Okay, so Simmons is preparing his team to break into the museum.
Okay, now let's get this show on the road.
Whoa, no, listen. I can't do this.
Yes.
I'm not some alien bounty hunter, all right, guys? I'm not gonna do this. Guards have guns. I don't want to die.
Kid. You compromise this mission, you are dead to me. Now look into my eyes. Tighten up that sphincter.
Yo, Papa, bad news, bro.
Nothing wrong here until Leo jumps in, stressing out about the plan as if he didn't have an opportunity to voice his concerns during the drive out from New York to Washington, D.C., Leo could have suggested that he stayed with Bumblebee, or he could have switched roles with Sam and simply hidden inside a plane until the museum closed while Sam, along with Simmons, incapacitated the guards. Speaking of which, when Leo was stressing out, why didn't they just switch Leo to a more comfortable role for him, rather than have Simmons bully him into committing toilet humor?
Got that paper, right, sir?
You should be embarrassed. There's a family museum, sir.
So let's remove all the nonsense from this scene and focus it down a bit.
Smithsonian Air and Space Museum.
Okay.
Watch your synchronized, sharp mind, and empty bladder. You get caught, demand an attorney, and don't ever say my name.
Once again, we're removing the bad humor, and what we're left with, once again, is a scene that stays on track.
Yeah, take one of these pills, slip it under your tongue. It's the high-concentrate polymer they put in Oreo cookies. Fix the polygraph every time. Okay, now let's get this show on the road.
Just down 5 guards. 5 guards.
You get your stuff and get out of here. Now you're wrestling the
Simmons prepares the team, then pulls out a taser by cutting straight to Sam and Michaela in the museum, and Simmons telling us that he took out 5 guards. Presumably, with that taser, we're allowed to focus on the point of the scene, which is the search for one of the old Transformers that have been hiding on Earth. We're also now preserving the dignity of Leo's character.
You should be embarrassed. There's a family museum, sir.
Oh my god, Revenge of the Fallen just has so much bad humor in it.
You already have one! Judy, just put him down.
You gotta control your mother.
I don't know what it is.
Hey, Professor, I'd do anything for an A.
All right, Grace Slick.
And that really takes away from what could be a much better film, especially since the attempted humor is just a lot of nonsense.
What is going on here?
How many times can you get tased in the nuts before you can't have kids? Huh? You know.
That clearly wasn't where he tased himself.
An amateur, man. A rank amateur.
Alright, we're going to look at one more scene from this film, and it's a scene that plays kind of choppy. So, after Sam and company find Jetfire, they all teleport to Egypt, and Jetfire leaves them with a riddle. What comes after is a sequence of clips that could use some shuffling. Here's how the scene plays out originally. First, Sam and company figure out where they're going. Then, they're chased by cops. They then drive off the road, losing the cops. Simmons makes a call, and they run away before the cops can find them. Back on the road, Sam and Simmons discuss the riddle and are stumped. They then stop at a checkpoint. Sam is identified on camera. Attempted hilarity ensues at the checkpoint. Soundwave finds Sam and alerts the Decepticons. Sam and company finally make it to a pyramid. That's a lot happening in only 4 minutes of runtime. Plus, there's an unnecessary attempt at humor in there. Let's cut that bad humor, drop the repetition, and shuffle things a bit. First, Sam and company figure out where they're going. They then stop at a checkpoint. Sam is identified on camera. Soundwave finds Sam and alerts the Decepticons. Then they're chased by cops, which makes sense now since Sam was just identified on camera. They then drive off the road, losing the cops. Simmons makes a call, and they run away before the cops can find them. Sam and company make it to a pyramid. So the sequence now has a more logical order to it. Rather than things happening seemingly at random, we now have one thing leading to the next, which leads to the next. In this altered cut, we remove one of the towns completely. We also don't see Sam and friends chased by the police until after they're caught on camera at the checkpoint. And we don't see the checkpoint stuff because it adds nothing to the story. We see Sam and friends run, disguise, and hide all in the same motion. We now have a sequence of events that feels smooth and flows well from start to finish. Okay, I lied. I want to go over one more scene just to edit some extraneous dialogue. So, when Sam, Michaela, and Leo are running from the female Decepticon, they hide out in a library. Sam and Michaela get into a bit of an exchange, and Sam calls timeout. Let's look at that.
Oh my god, I can't believe I almost had sex with her in my dream.
I can tell that you really miss me a lot, Sam.
Look, it's not my fault, okay? I'm a
It's
victim.
not your fault.
Listen, I'm a victim.
Oh, you were a victim of what? Of what?
Of
A little 80-pound
molestation.
girl?
He was like getting humped in the neck by a mountain ox.
You didn't have to put your tongue in her mouth.
I didn't.
You did.
Look, you ever had your stomach tongued by a mountain ox with a 5-foot tongue? It's not fun for me, okay, Michaela?
We're actually fine so far. Things are emotional right now, and that's okay. It's the timeout that I have a problem with. Here it is.
And it smelled like diesel. Like a diesel-y tinge to it.
You're such a little girl.
We're gonna have 10 seconds of silence right now. I'm not talking to you for 10 seconds.
You can't give me the silent treatment. You know what?
I'm not talking to you for 10 seconds. You have 3 seconds left.
You know what? You can give me the silent treatment all you want, but you can't give me the talking.
What are you gonna say?
I hope you had a lot of fun because...
What exactly did that timeout add to the scene? Nothing. What did that timeout actually do to the scene? Well, considering that the group is running from a female Decepticon, the timeout is slowing down the scene. It's not holding to the pacing of the action very well. Let's look at the remainder of this exchange.
This is over.
She violated your orifice with her nasty alien probe? She did it? She went in there?
Our little embryo alien babies are gestating and hatching inside of you.
They're growing right now, probably. You need to vomit it right now. Yak it! Yak it! Right now!
Who are you?
Leonardo Ponce de Leon Spitz. Okay? I'm the key to this. The aliens, they want me because of my sight.
And now we have Leo jumping into the middle of this, and this whole thing is just breaking down the longer it goes on. Plus, having the female Decepticon busting into the library right after Leo says that they want him because of his website simply feels completely wrong, because we know it's just not true. It's a bad piece of dialogue to end with on that exchange. So let's see how we can alter this scene to quicken the pace and end it with some better dialogue.
I can tell that you really miss me a lot, Sam.
Look, it's not my fault, okay? I'm a
It's not
victim.
your fault. It's not your fault.
Listen, I'm a victim.
Oh, you were a victim of what? Of what?
Of
A little 80-pound
molestation.
girl?
It was like getting humped in the neck by a mountain ox.
Same as the original clip, no change needed here. Now, let's remove the timeout.
You didn't have to put your tongue in her mouth.
I didn't.
You did.
Look, you ever had your stomach tongued by a mountain ox with a 5-foot tongue? It's not fun for me, okay, Michaela?
You're such a little girl.
She violated your orifice with her nasty
I
alien
hope you
probe?
had a lot of fun because this is over.
And there you have it. Without Sam calling timeout, the scene stays on pace and doesn't break down into unneeded dialogue. Also, do you see how much better it feels when the last piece of dialogue you hear is Michaela telling Sam that their relationship is over? It really gives you something to hang on while the action continues. Is their relationship really over? We don't know, but we'll first have to survive this female Decepticon before we can find out. That's so much better than already knowing that Leo isn't wanted because of his website. Okay, now that is the last I'll be saying about Revenge of the Fallen for this video. Up next, I'm going to talk about Rogue One. And yeah, I know I promised a long time ago that I'd talk about the Star Wars prequels. That's still in the plan. I'm coming for you, Jar Jar.